Hey YouTubers, Hike with Mike here, and today I'm responding to, I was tagged by Under a Carolina Sky, I'll leave his link below, 10 question tag, which I've done before, but these questions were a little bit different than the ones I did before, so I figured I would respond to his tag. The first question, pretty obvious one for me if you watch my channel: do you prefer camping in groups or alone? And I like the solo experience, being alone in the woods. There's just something almost spiritual for me that I just love to be out alone. I like to camp with my buddies too. And I like to hike, and I'd love to camp with some subscribers and stuff as well too. But that alone experience is just something that is very, very special to me. So I camp alone with nobody else most of the time. Most difficult hike. Probably when I got back into hiking and camping about 10 years ago, I went to a badly marked trail in a place called Jumper Creek, which is heavily swamped, not marked well, and I was, returning to camping and hiking, so I was a little bit out of shape, and I was a little bit unprepared, just heavily unprepared. Went out, it was a blazing hot day in early September. I don't think I brought any water or anything. I went out there and I was getting ready to take a photograph of a Luna moth, and I just collapsed and fainted. I had heat exhaustion, and everything started to look the same. I was completely lost, and I knew I wasn't far from the trailhead, but I was so weakened from the heat exhaustion, I had to call and have someone get me. So that was probably the most difficult hike. About a year later, I went back to conquer that failed attempt the first time, and that was actually kind of cool too, to be able to go back a year later, return to where I got lost at Jumper Creek. It's always been kind of a weird place. There was a lot of Seminole War battles in that area, and it's named after Chief Jumper, a Seminole Indian warrior. So it is a weird place. I always get a weird vibe there. The other one, do you hike in winter? For me, it doesn't apply. I live in Florida, so really winter isn't an issue 99.9% of the time. Favorite places to hike, camp? Well, one of them's right here you're looking at, my home swamp. I love this place. I try to get to it at least once a week. Other places, lots of other state forests and preserves right around my own area. I just love it. I can't complain too much about that. Pine Mountain, Georgia. Mount Cheaha in Alabama. I like those places a lot as well. And of course, one of my favorite trips was to Alaska a long time ago. I really enjoyed that too. Have you ever been injured out on the trails? Thank God there's lots of wood here to knock on. No, I've been lucky. Hope I'm not cursing myself now, but I'm knocking heavily on the wood. Primitive skills or bushcraft skills. The one that I'm really into right now is the flint and steel, and I'm getting ready to start working on the bow drill fire making. That's my next step. So I really enjoy the Paleolithic styles of lighting fire and stuff like that. I find it really, really cool. It's another way you can connect more to the natural world. Favorite foods? I'm not a dehydrated food type guy. I bring just regular food to eat most of the time. I like stuff that's easy to get rid of as well, with bears and things like that. So I usually bring some oranges. The peels are biodegradable, so I can eat and just throw the peels on the ground, and that could be used by animals. Peanuts in the shell, same thing. I eat those, and I can throw the shells on the ground, biodegradable. Maybe some bread, and just some snacks and things like that most of the time. Because really, we always tend to you can live without food for several days. You know, water is the most important thing. So when I'm out solo hiking, I bring a limited amount of food. Unless I car camp with my buddies, then we can get kind of gourmet and stuff. And then I like to cook romesco sauce with bread and other like really, you know, over the top stuff. But solo camping, you know, minimal amount of food, really. Like I said, liquids are more important. Water's more important. What do you like to hike in bad weather? A quote I say all the time by the famous transcendentalist philosopher Henry David Thoreau, who said there is no bad weather, only different kinds of weather. So I embrace that. If I had to say anything that I didn't like the most, it'd be cold weather, because I'm a heat-loving swamp rat. But I can adjust to that too. You know, different weather brings different challenges and different things you see. So I look at it as a new opportunity. I don't really get too upset about bad weather. Places on your bucket list that you want to go to. The one I'm intrigued is probably the complete opposite of what I have right here, is the desert. You know, I have plenty of water, lots of greenery here. So places like Zion, Bryce Canyon, the northern rim of the, what do we got here? The northern rim of the Grand Canyon, the Badlands. Those are the places I think that are definitely on my list of places to go to one of these days. And then the last question, number 10, is what's the heaviest thing in your backpack? That's an easy one. I'm going to give you a philosophical answer to that. Regrets, lost opportunities, and guilt. Those are way heavy in the backpack whenever you're out hiking and camping. So those are my 10 tagged questions by Under the Carolina Sky. So hope you enjoyed the answers, and I'm enjoying the swamp.